We are back. Welcome to another edition of Kiwanis Connects. This show is now called to order. That's right, the voice. I am not on a golf course this week, thank goodness, because after I got done last week, they asked me not to return. So there you have it. Anyway, hope you're all having a good Friday. It is the 12th. By the way, I know we're a day late, never a dollar short around here. Yesterday being 9/11, we want to send our heartfelt hugs and best wishes to anybody and everybody all around. Only wish patriotism today was as strong as it was back in the day and more consistent. But that's at least we have one day where we try to remember those who gave their lives for those lost that day and continue to protect us today. We thank each and every one of you. 2,880 steps later, we did yesterday in my CrossFit workout, and my legs today are like cement. Doc Val, how are you today?
I haven't been getting nearly as much exercise as you, but my body's telling me I need to, kind of take a break at some point. I was sharing a little earlier with a couple of people that, I made some decisions this week that have really impacted my sleep. And so I want to do a shout out to the Australian National Internet Club, Kiwanis Internet Club. When they asked me to talk about leadership, membership, and service for internet clubs, I was thinking they were talking 7 a.m. their time. So it'd be 2 p.m. my time. And no, they meet at 7 p.m. their time, which is 2 a.m. our time. So, oh, yeah. So I was up, awake, and I had my prop glass of wine because I knew if I actually drank that wine, all of them had Shiraz on the show, I would have fallen asleep right there on my computer. So
I don't doubt you, but I give you kudos for doing it at 2 a.m. God bless you.
Yep.
Which means if it was East Coast time, it would have been 5 a.m. So there you have it. All right. Joining us also, you see a third person there, all clad in her purple. That's right. The shirt that made me come back from decon a few years ago, butt naked, waist up. Nice to see that I'm visiting my shirt via long distance. Of course, is the one incomparable Ms. Julie Carter joins us. She is the current CNH administrator for Builders Club, chair of the Cloverdale chapter of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which is gaining a lot of steam around Kiwanis. And Cloverdale Kiwanis Vineyard Races, she is the race director for that. We'll get to all that in a little bit. But Miss Julie, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so happy to be with you guys. This is great.
You look good. Good to see you. Having caught up with you at the decon back in August, it was great to see you and visiting my purple shirts.
Visiting your purple shirts, and I haven't bought anything from you lately. So,
well, Susan Wells, should she be jumping in there, my agent, as I called her at convention. She and you, and I forgot who else was, maybe it was my wife, was involved in the conversation. We do have an offer on the table for one of the shirts. I will also unveil at some point during today's episode the other purple shirt that I had that I mentioned to you that I have. See if that'll gain some steam. Because ultimately what we're trying to do here, Doc Val, I want to broadcast with you from the Rose Float Parade on the float, from the float. And so we're trying to make that happen with some wheeling and dealing. We also have, I sweetened the pot. I told Julie that if she were to take advantage of the offer that Susan Wells put out there as my agent, I would personally get her very own Kiwanis Connects jersey. Not
like that.
Not in pink. I would customize the jersey that wherever you see pink would be her purple, with Kiwanis Connects in her very own purple and trim in purple and names and numbers, the whole shebang. I would customize one specific for her in the deal with which Susan Wells is in the process of representing. So we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, want to thank everybody for joining us, whether you're watching us on Facebook on all of our three channels, whether it's the WVBV TV network, WWDB TV, or of course the Kiwanis Connect show page. We thank you. And of course, if you like YouTube, same three channels. That's right. Not one, not two, not three, but 6 live options for you to catch the show. And I know we got a lot of good stuff going on today. Of course, Julie talking about Builders Club and her Cloverdale race. But of course, we've got our wow moments. We have our mental health moment with Melissa Atwell. bad dad joke. So, Julie, I hope you've come equipped with a couple to go at us with, because that
A
is
stack.
you ready?
Got it.
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit as well. So we got a lot to do, a lot going on today. But with that, Doc Val, what's going on in your neck of the woods besides you not getting a whole lot of sleep this week?
Well, I'm one of those people that I'm kind of a news junkie. And so I have unfortunately been tapping back into watching the news on what's going on around the world. And I have gotten a little political. I know you guys are shocked with me. But my running meme right now is I want you to be Cracker Barrel mad about as mad as you were about the changing of the Cracker Barrel logo. I want you to be that mad about school shootings, because there has been so much going on, and most people don't know my story. And it's like, I know I got a lot of stories. But this one is so personal because I'm not sure many of you realize that my youngest brother was killed when he was 15 and a half. And he was shot while being at a friend's house. And the first thing the media went to was maybe it was gang related, because he was a little 15-year-old black boy in Riverside, which is very conservative. And very quickly the narrative changed when they realized that no, he was his class president. He was the manager of the basketball team. He was one of the really, really good guys, and the narrative totally changed. And people went from being incensed to how do we make a change? Mm-hmm. And I think that we need to be verbal in talking about how do we protect our kids? How do we educate our kids? And so the timing of having Miss Julie here is absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. And that's because this is the age group. The Builders Club age group is when stuff happens.
Yep.
They are powerful beings. So, Julie, how did you get in? Tell us a little bit first off, because there's a lot of people that watch that have no idea, and they didn't realize that we might make houses or do blah, blah, blah when they think about Builders Club. So tell us a little bit about Builders Club, and then we'll talk about the rest of it.
So my history in Builders Club started about 13 years ago when my youngest was in 7th grade, and they didn't have a Kiwanis club. Their older brother had a key club, and so of course we had to start a Builders Club. Builders Club is it's awesome. I truly believe it's the most important of the SLPs, because as technology and everything has progressed, the what's expected of kids has gone younger. So the kids in the Builders Club now are facing the issues that we didn't face till high school.
Mm-hmm.
And statistics tell us depression, bullying, violence, suicide, unfortunately, are all on the rise in that age group. Mm-hmm. And it just takes a few minutes of connection with somebody to make a difference. I often tell people when I talk about them is I have in my phone proof that there's at least 2 or 3 people alive today because of Builders Club who have texted me years later, called me, had the parents call me and say, Julie, you made the difference, or the club made the difference. When we first came off of COVID, all my kids wanted to do was sit in a room together because they hadn't been able to.
Wow.
So literally my first year, instead of having real meetings, I would have real meetings at lunchtime, but after school, I would just open a classroom and be there for a couple hours so that the kids could be together.
Now,
that's magical. That's absolutely magical.
The majority of our viewers are Kiwanis experienced. However, it does come to my attention that there are some newbies out there that are either new to Kiwanis or maybe someone who's looking into possibly joining Kiwanis. We're throwing around this terminology of Builders Clubs, SLPs, but I guarantee you there's somebody out there that has no clue. So let's backtrack Let's explain SLP and what is Builders Club, if you don't mind, Miss Julie.
Okay, SLPs are service leadership programs. Okay, many people accidentally change the S to student, and it doesn't apply. It includes our action clubs. And the Builders Club in particular, the name comes from building leaders. Okay. It's the funny thing is, it's the only SLP that doesn't have a K in it. So we're like, yeah, we're building leaders alphabetically. I don't know. So you have, starting with young kids, you have K kids, which my friend Jeff Ott is the administrator for. Got to give him a shout out because he's been doing that job for 25 years.
And he's amazing.
Absolutely
Absolutely amazing.
Ever since they created the job for him. Then there's Builders Club, which is junior high. Then there's Key Club. Then there's Circle K. Then there's Action Club. And then there's the new thing, which I hate to say, Val, I was actually listening to you at leadership training when you told us about it, and I have no idea what the name is. So
it's called Kiwanis Voices. And so Kiwanis Voices are for 18 years to 20 to just before you turn 27. So that night before you turn 27, for people that choose not to go to a college or university, but they're not ready to want to join a traditional Kiwanis club. And so we've added another branch to see if it will attract people and not lose those Key Clubbers when they graduate, or lose those Circle K members, or the ones that go right into a profession as soon as they leave, high school. So
they never asked me for the rights to use the word voices, by the way. I'll just have you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not really going to fight. I was going to get our lawyer involved and do some arm wrestling. But Kiwanis has been letting us do something that I think we want to keep going. So we're just going to go. Gotcha. We're so glad that there's a second voice that hopefully one day will achieve the greatness of the voice.
Oh, I don't know about that. Listen, that's a very low bar, so it shouldn't be a problem.
But Julie, when you talk about this in junior high school or middle school, and is it like 5th grade to 8th grade? What is that really in grades?
Normally we go 6th, 7th, 8th. But like school I work at that has my club here in Cloverdale, they separate their 5th and 6th graders and their 7th and 8th graders in 2 different lunch times and 2 different bell schedules, and it creates a mess. So we only do 7th and 8th at my place.
Awesome.
We could, and some people have suggested, since I've recently retired and have absolutely nothing to do, that I could have a 5th, 6th grade at the same school at the same time. You could do that. These are create your own adventure clubs. You make them what you want. There's very little structure. I'm not going to say that there's very little pointing where you should go or what you should do, but there's very few hard and fast rules. So it
gives that flexibility that's needed, because when you think about it, at that age, their time moves so fast.
Oh, they do.
And so being able to be flexible and to work with them is amazing. We created a club here in my local area, and it is a literacy builders club. And so they meet around picking books and doing social activities and programs around getting literacy and reading into their middle school. So a shout out to Los Arboles Middle School in Marina. And they gave out 200 books to the graduating 8th graders at the end of June. And so they came together, did a fundraiser, they got matching funds, and 200 brand new books for the summer for their 8th graders.
I'm going to stop right there. Now that Steve Nagel's watching, I'm going to go to break just to piss him off. So with that, you're watching Kiwanis Connects. Julie Carter's our guest today, talking Builders Club and all there is to talk about regarding that, and her passion for purple. God only knows. Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level, and without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchi's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
Wow.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
ComForCare can help with as much or as little home care as you need, from medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
Hey, honey, what you doing?
Getting ready to watch a game.
What about fixing up the house like you promised?
What you talking about?
Just the new light in the den, the new shower in our bathroom, the new fence around the yard, the front steps.
Stop! You know, I have a better idea. You know Craig down the street? He owns a company that specializes in handyman services, but he is more than just any old handyman.
Really? Would you say different strokes for different folks?
You know I will. You know why? Because he does home repairs and he does painting and kitchen remodels and bathrooms and everything else in between.
How are his prices?
Great value for great quality. You know, I think I'll invite him over and get a free estimate for all the things that I know will make you the happiest, dear.
Call Different Strokes Painting and Handyman Service for a free estimate by calling 757-395-9999 today.
That's 757-395-9999. Above the rest, they show up and show out by making your vision come to life. Alrighty, welcome back. A lot to do. We want to welcome our new sponsors, of course, bookvending.com. Who I understand has quite a few machines out there in California. I want to thank Douglas Chadwick at KI's convention in Pittsburgh for making that introduction for us. I want to shout out to Connor. So we want to thank them. ComForCare, Virginia Beach. You guys have been hearing about them for months. They're great support of what we do. And Different Strokes, they're just new to the team right now. Just a little extra for their support that they gave me and my family during the time when my mom passed away. So Doc Val, I hope that's okay. I snuck in a spot for them as a thank you to Different Strokes 757.
Well, I kept thinking, you know, in Kiwanis, because we're all over the world, when I see someone have the Kiwanis emblem in their shop window or on their car, I'm more likely to actually ask them about their business. Yep. And that Kiwanis isn't about networking and it's not about promoting our individual businesses, but Kiwanians have that special something. Yep. And I think part of it's integrity. And so you sharing that, it sounds great.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I do want to mention that they did just join the Virginia Beach Kiwanis Club with me as their sponsor, both Craig from the painting company and Tiffany from ComForCare. So they are brand spanking new Kiwanians. So, and also Doc Val, I'm working on Magali become a member of the Rose Flow Club. I'm trying to nail that down for everybody. Anyway, that's a little side note there. But, all right,
can I jump in with a little thing about the book vending machines?
Yeah,
absolutely. There's 2 schools in our town got book vending machines last year. This was before Doug brought them to the Kiwanis convention. So we had no attention on it as a possible Kiwanis event. Mm-hmm. And then they came to me because they said, you know where we can get books. You know how we can do this. And my club said, sit back. We'll take care of it. We got it. You got the machine now. We'll take care of the books. And any club thinking about it, Doug Chadwick, the literacy clubs are always a good source of books. Also, make friends with Scholastic books. Mm-hmm. They play really, really nice. I've been playing nice with them for 26 years. It's good. It's
so
really
real quickly before we get back to it. So shout out to Connor and company up at bookvending.com. We hope next month to get them scheduled to come on the show and talk about their business. So Julie, the picture behind me is the shirt that we were talking about at convention. And that's because if you notice up here on the collar, that is the collar button cover that I told you I would keep on the shirt. So I'm bringing this one back to view to refresh your memory of what's at stake. And then in a little bit, I'll bring up behind me the other one that we can.
The other one. And then,
one. The aforementioned one. Anyway, go ahead, Val, take it away.
Oh my goodness. And, it's that 1 degree of separation. When you think about my whole color scheme for my whole election process, and my upcoming election process is purple. And so to know that we just have purple every always, she looks so beautiful in all of this. And so, Julie, you snuck in something, and I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged it. And it is congratulations on your retirement. And so most, that's like, whoop, whoop.
Another teacher survived the career.
Yeah.
Well, but, most people say, I'm too busy to be a Kiwanian. I'm going to wait. And you're not one of those people that has done that. And you had your full career of what you're doing, and then you're involved in other opportunities, and you're also an advisor to Builders Club. How did you juggle all that?
I'm absolutely freaking insane. Okay.
That's one answer.
Okay. I outside of Kiwanis, I have zero social life. No, actually, I do have a great social life. No, I've always come from a place of you do what needs to be done. And with Kiwanis, I've learned how much more there needs to be done. And, if I'm not helping someone in a day, and I mean, in my career, I was a teacher, so I was helping people. So I could have sat back and gone, oh, that's fine. But I just kind of go overboard. It's kind of my personality, and
well, you're that person, and when I'm out recruiting, I'm always looking for people that have that energy like you. I want busy people to come and be a part of what's going on, because you're in tune. You understand, like you were talking about a little bit earlier. When COVID was over, you didn't sit back and go, oh, we're going to let Builders Club go away.
No. I actually became the Builders Club administrator 3.5 weeks before shelter in place was called. So I didn't know how to do the job except in a pandemic situation. So, yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that when I was governor, you said yes to be the district administrator, because I believe, wholeheartedly that 11 and 12-year-olds can rule the world. And because they don't know the word no, but they don't always know how to get to all the steps to yes. And
absolutely.
So can you talk a little bit about how Builders Club works?
How Builders Club works, like I think I said, it's a build your own adventure thing. Builders Club, unlike Key Club, doesn't have a hierarchy at the district, international, all those other levels. So what it is that a teacher, you need a faculty advisor and a Kiwanis advisor, and they buy off of the principal. And you can set what you do based on the kids that you have. Many of our clubs meet only at lunchtimes, and then sometimes they do a service project outside of the school. My club meets on First and third Mondays are business meetings, or first and third Wednesday, sorry. The Key Club is on Mondays. And then the second and fourth are service projects. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, and then we also do some service projects on weekends. Like we served, just this last Saturday, we served meals at the senior center for a pancake breakfast. I had 14 kids show up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning who had just met me 4 days before and had me say, come play with me. And it's going to be really hard work. This Wednesday, I had one of the kids come up to me and go, what are we doing this Saturday? And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I think I know how we're going to go. We're going to start doing things more on weekends because this group of kids, many of them are in sports, school sports. So maybe we have to do something on the weekends with them. And luckily, since I've retired, I have a little more time.
You were just kind of touching on something because when it comes to getting Kiwanians to come to events, it's like herding cats.
Oh, yeah.
So I was curious to find out what kind of projects and things, service project wise, Builders Club that you have them doing that would garner their interest.
Okay, well, we have had them, park cleanups, things like that. Classic things are great.
Mm-hmm.
Any Kiwanis event that they're set up for, the chairs, the tables, the putting out the food, whatever. It's much easier to have 7th and 8th graders do that than it is to have your Kiwanians who are still making the food, still folding the papers, whatever. They are one of our truly signature projects is that we make boxes for homeless people. We sell sea suckers throughout the year, and then we take the boxes, which are a little smaller than a shoebox, and we fill them with things like protein bars, clean socks, new toothbrushes, shampoo, soap, all those things. And then all of my kids' parents have these in their car to give to someone who's panhandling, who needs help. And, some of the people, and sometimes I get Kiwanians to do this, sponsor, gift cards to, there's a lot of homeless people hanging out outside McDonald's. Throw a $5 gift card in each of to McDonald's to see where they're going to eat.
So is it helping? Do you think now this is going to help bridge the gap into Key Club for these kids? Do they understand
yes.
What their progression is?
And I always tell the kids that Key Club is Builders Clubs on steroids. There's just no other way to look at it. But the transition, and then we include them in Key Club events, and I have found that there's no, even if it's just a little thing, like 2 days ago, we had a whole bunch of little things to do at our meetings. We had a whole bunch of flyers that needed to be cut in half. We had a whole bunch of silverware that needed to be wrapped for a Kiwanis event coming up. I needed, as silly as it seems, I needed to find the 15 hippos in a big box of flying rubber animals. And I knew there were 15 hippos in there, but I needed to find them. And so I gave the box to 2 kids and I said, I think there's 15 hippos in there. Please find them for me. Because I needed flying hippos for something.
How many Builders Club members are there in Calneva now?
I don't know how many members there are, but there are somewhere around 122 clubs. Unlike Key Club, we don't pay dues. So the secretary of the club tells how many kids they think they're going to have at the beginning of the year, but we really don't get a good thing. But up until 3 weeks ago, I didn't even know that there was 120 some clubs because I don't care about statistics.
Right.
It was my goal has been, or my response to, how many builders clubs do we have? Not enough. How many do we need? One more. And that's been my whole thing. And I knew if I too early looked at the numbers, I would get caught up in numbers and set goals and, make pie charts and all this other stuff. And maybe waiting 5 years to look at the numbers was a little long, but here I am now. And
Okay.
of that, 18 of them were chartered in the last school year.
Which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Insanely fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah. I got a call from KI and I thought I was going to be in trouble because I thought I did something wrong. I hadn't figured it out. And they're going, do you know how many Builders Club you've done this year? And I'm like, this is embarrassing. No, I don't. I said, how did you do it? And I said, I think it was just that I did one at a time and never looked beyond for the next one or going back to the one before when the one in front of me needs help.
And really, that's just amazing. And I talk over you just because I think it's so important for people to realize that there isn't a lot of time for counting and planning when you're talking about K-Kids and Builders Club because of the cycle. If you spend so much time on the mechanics and not the doing, you miss their whole first semester. And that first semester in the very first weeks of meeting with the kids sets the pace for the rest of their year.
Absolutely.
And it's really hands-on in the beginning in the fall. It's very hands-on for advisors. But when they come back from winter break, they have their ideas.
They know what they're doing there. And, it's like second semester, you sit back and you hang on and you let them do their stuff.
All right. So I want to change gears just a little bit with Julie before we come around the clubhouse turn. I know we're going to talk about the Cloverdale Kiwanis Vineyard races, of course. You're the big shot around that. I think we should spend a few minutes and get a little plug about that. But first, two things I'm going to ask for. Number one, you got to tell us a story about why purple.
Why purple? Okay, this is long back. I apparently loved purple all my life. I mean, little pictures of me as a kid are purple. I mean, even the black and white ones, you can tell it's purple. And so I always wanted a purple house. Okay. And marriage is a wonderful thing, wonderful institution, and there are certain gives and takes that you do in marriage, okay? And one of the gives I did in my marriage for 39 years, 39 wonderful years, was I tolerated the fact that we always had a blue house. It didn't matter if we were renting, it was a blue house.
Are you talking about internal, like the rooms and stuff inside or outside?
Both.
Okay.
Gotcha. So the outsides were always blue. So I had really decided as a gift to myself after my dear husband passed in 21 that my first project was going to make my house look like my house. So we painted it. I didn't paint it. I paid somebody to paint my house mostly purple. There are some brown accents,
but my house behind you right now, by the way.
What?
Do we see the brown behind you?
Yeah, and see that.
And then I see that yep.
That is most of my house.
Okay.
Except, the larger walls are a little paler.
So you grew up with a love for purple, right?
So I have this massive love for purple. So I painted my house purple. And the other thing I did is I had a pride flag painted on my front porch. Okay. Because first, when I bought the house 8 years ago, or when we bought the house 8 years ago, my youngest son was living with us. And when I saw the door, the walls, I go, oh, it would be easy to paint a pride flag on that. And Clay was like, yeah. And my husband was like, And so, my mind said, no, after the house becomes purple. So I'm just a kind of a purple freak.
That's all right. Listen, there's worse things people can follow, right? I mean, you know, there's my Batman and sports, and there's all sorts of. All right, second thing, before we get ready to go to our second break, which will wrap up our breaks for the show, so we can go right to the top. You have come armed with your homework assignment of some bad dad jokes. So as we go into break, please give us one to wet the whistle as we go to the show.
Okay. 2 cows were smoking a joint and playing cards. The stakes were really high.
Oh my gosh. On that note, John, we're going to go to our second break. We're going to leave you with that one, folks, as a little warm-up. As we come around the clubhouse turn, you're watching Kiwanis Connects with some very high cows right now, I guess, out in the pasture. We'll be right back.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh, yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
ComForCare can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchi's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. By the way, one other solicitation. If you guys still listen, we got plenty of room for more Kiwanis Connects jerseys. That's right, because you know what? The proceeds of the jerseys keeps the show on the air along with the support of our advertisers. So please send me an email, KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. That's KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. If you just want a jersey with just Kiwanis Connects across the front, these are beautifully embroidered. Hey guys, it's only $65, beautifully embroidered. If you want to be like others who gets their number on it, that's only $70. And if you want to get the full front, back numbers, the whole thing, I will give you those quotes via the email. Just email me, KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. All right. Behind me, Julie, is the new shirt that I was referring to that, well, it's not actually hanging. That's a picture. So that's the last purple infused shirt that I have. That I can have my agent reach out to you and see what happens with the offer of. I'm not, we don't need to share what the conversations were, but this, that is the last shirt I have with any purple in it, because the only other thing I have the Val's Kiwanis Year shirt. I have the jacket. I would want to let people know that the shirt you're wearing, I actually have a jacket in that same material. So that was the jacket I purposely bought during Val's Year. That one's not going to be for sale. You got the shirt version of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the last purple passion apparel I have that, could be added to the pot to get my butt onto that rose float and
onto that rose float. Yeah. Well, we will definitely talk. I would actually like to see that a little better picture. Maybe send me something, because it's looking silver to me.
It is looking silver, but I think you may put it on and modeled it for you. But as he's modeling it for you, I just want to say, Julie, thank you for all that you do, because you put passion into our conference that day when you started auctioning off. And I think that this translates to other people, because a lot of people are going, this just seems like a show between the three of them. But the reality is that this is the kind of stuff that can really spark fun in your Kiwanis Club. And so it's coming up with these great ideas. And oh my goodness, it is gorgeous. And Andy's listening in. Otherwise, I'd get into the bidding war too. That is beautiful.
Okay. I will be getting back to you very soon on that. And just so everyone knows, I didn't buy a shirt. I bought books for kids.
That is one.
Exactly.
The money didn't go to anyone. It went to the literacy club. And like, if and when I own the thing that he's wearing now,
with the other one,
it will be. We'll talk. It will be in order to promote Kiwanis Connects. And
that is correct. Because
get someone's butt on a float.
The goal is to have my butt in one of those seats on the float, and be able to broadcast live during the parade from the float. And if it all works out, we were also talking if we can somehow make sure that Val gets another seat, and the two of us can be broadcasting from the parade on the float during a Kiwanis Connect show. So there you have it. All right, that's the goal. All right, let's so I'll keep this one on so you get the right, tinting behind it.
The right tinting.
Very nice. Very nice. And as you're doing that, I really did want to wrap up a little bit on the Builders Club, because one of the things are a lot of clubs don't know how to get involved. And if you're not a Kiwanian yet and you go, I love this idea about a Builders Club and I don't know if there's one in my community, contact your local Kiwanis Club. And if they don't have a Builders Club, offer to join and help start one, because kids need us. And if you're thinking about one adult being able to impact 25 to 30 plus kids, wow, it's huge. Absolutely. I know that Builders Club isn't your only passion. And so that first shirt that you invested in was, I think, one of your biggest passions. And that's all about literacy. And I have an invitation for you. But before we get into that invitation, can you tell us a little bit more about your literacy passion and what you do?
Okay. This all started back in 2009 when my husband came back from Kiwanis International Convention in Tennessee. And he sat me down and he said, so there's this thing called the Imagination Library. Okay. And Dolly Parton's thing. And he goes, and we're bringing it to Cloverdale. And basically, point blank, he said, if Kiwanis won't do it, we will. We live in a town of 8,000 people. He had it all figured out how it was never going to cost us more than $10,000 a year, which at the time was like killer, but yeah. So like within 2 or 3 weeks after being home, we had a foundation. First thing you had to do is create your own foundation. So we had to create a foundation. We had Kiwanis sort of bought in, but they said we needed a fundraising event to support that.
Okay.
And they did not have the money to do anything. So we had to create an event to support it. So we fronted a little money to get things going. And then we came up with a race, because Cloverdale Kiwanis Vineyard Races is what we have now. Because at the time, my husband was a ultramarathoner. For those of you who don't know, ultramarathoners are those people who think 26.3 miles is short. So crazy people. And way back in the 80s, I had worked for a race production team. So I had this job before. So we created this race, and it was beautiful and great, and it made enough money the first couple of years. And then we hit a really bad year, and we all said, this is too much work. And then the running community and a gentleman by the name of Matt Gallo of Gallo Wines said, you guys can't take this away from us. And the running community basically wrapped us back into it. And that's when it went from being the harvest runs to being the vineyard races, because we moved them literally into the Gallo vineyards. Last year we had 670 people register for
Wow.
we make. So since the inception of the race, through the Imagination Library and a number of other book giveaway programs, we have given away 44,000 books.
Wow.
The Kiwanis Club of Cloverdale, in a town of 8,000 people, have given away 44,000 books. We sponsor somewhere between 3 and 6 college scholarships a year. We provide snacks at the elementary and junior high level, so that teachers, staff don't have to, have a box of crackers in their classroom. And we do all sorts of things. Last year, our 8th grade science class somehow got listed as a elective, and so there was no funding set aside for science supplies. And the science teacher is our Builders Club advisor from the school. So we jumped in and paid for all the supplies that the 8th grade needed.
So I just want to let everybody know, if you're just listening and you're not watching right now, we have a crawl going at the bottom of the screen with the website, cloverdalevineyardraces.org, so you can get all the information regarding the event. Also behind me is the logo for the event, which I just snookered off the website.
Thank you.
What you can do with technology nowadays. I did notice on the website, I went there yesterday and I saw some apparel and things like that are available, but are you selling any of the apparel separately, or is that what goes for the people who register for the race?
That's what goes for the people who register for the race.
Okay.
And our thing, our shirts every year are always long sleeved, always a bold color, and always have something, a similar logo. This year, because someone has a little bit of influence, we have a teal shirt, and our the vineyards, which are usually green or white, are purple. But this is let's get this down here. This is basically what our shirt design looks like. Okay. And it's totally different color scheme every year.
Mm-hmm.
We also do wine glasses. If somebody wants to buy a shirt or a wine glass separate, all they have to do is contact me either through the website at info@runthewinecountry.org or at my true email, which is julie@juliecarter.org.
And of course, Julie's also available on Facebook as well, so you can check her out there as well. So
Absolutely.
we're starting to get under the gun for time. So I'm going to hold off for 1 second before we get back to some of the material. So what I would like to do at this time, let's transition to hear our weekly message from Melissa Atwell at the Mental Health Moment. Take it away, Melissa.
You're not the only one feeling like this, even if it feels that way. So many people are silently struggling every day and feel alone. Let's be louder than the stigma. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. All right, Doc Val, let's turn it over to you for Kiwanis Wow.
Not quite yet, but because I want to tie something in with Melissa's mental health moment. And part of that mental health moment has now blossomed into the beginning of a Kiwanis Club. And so there is a brand new Kiwanis Club forming in Nevada that will be the Kiwanis Club of Nevada for mental health care. And the CAR involves caring for kids in the community. So if you're interested in this new club with a bunch of amazing professionals that are going to be a part of it, it's going to organize on October 10th. And so people will hopefully be in studio as we organize this brand new club with Melissa as the president of that club. That's a result of this show and what we're doing. And so I just wanted to let you know that. And the other part of it is that I want to make sure before we completely leave that your beautiful background that you've got going on there, Aaron, is that, Julie, you guys have done something that I godsmacked about, and that is just amazingly wonderful. Even though you have these high-powered people involved in your you making sure that race continues, because you mean so much, Kiwanis means so much to the community, that you kept the Kiwanis name. And that's a message that I think that's so important, that needs to go out across the world, that when Kiwanis does good things, it shouldn't be magic fairies. People should know it's Kiwanis. So keeping in your logo, Cloverdale Kiwanis, keeping on your t-shirt, Kiwanis. It's Kiwanis that's doing this. It's not just Julie Carter and Greg Carter. It is all. And I think that that's why we keep wearing this. We're fighting to keep the name because it is Kiwanis. It's about service in our organization. So, mahalo, thank you.
And the connections we make in Kiwanis as well.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I could never do it without.
Absolutely. So there's a guy out there that is my wow. It's not Andy. So as we go into my wow now.
All right, John, hit it. Let's hit it.
I'm doing my happy dance. It's a really short one, but it's really cool. And I'm hoping that this guy becomes a Kiwanian really, really soon. He's in Cincinnati, Ohio, and his name is Buzz Eckert. Buzz, a couple of years ago, started the Dad Letter Writing Project. And I was watching my favorite television show this morning, and I saw Buzz, and he made me cry, because through letters out to people who need it, he's replacing dads that are missing, dads that are in prison, dads that have passed. And so a shout out to Buzz Eckert. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Facebook or connected through the Today Show. But he is writing letters to adults and kids, and he's saving lives. So that's my wow. But I also have and I was joking with Andy, it's called the how. Because right now, and we started this the top of the hour, we talked about there's a lot of politics going on, and I want you to get active. I want you to do something. And so for those of you who have Builders Club members, or who really want to figure out, how do I help our kids when they're seeing stuff on the news and they're seeing things happen in other schools and they're afraid of what might happen to them, is maybe think about sponsoring a book and giving it to all of your Builders Club or all of your middle school kids. And one of the books that I saw that really jumped out at me is called What to Do When the News Scares You. And it's put together by the A Mighty Girl, which is a 501c3 that focuses in on middle school and elementary school kids. You'll see the crawler. It's amightygirl.com. What-to-do-when news-scares-you. I know that's really weird. It's really long. I'm not going to repeat it again. But if you pull over in your car and you rewind, you'll be able to see it on the crawler. And there's also another one that I think every kid should have, or every teacher should have. It's something bad happened. Yeah, something bad happened, but that doesn't mean that the world is ending. It doesn't mean that your mental health takes second fiddle. It says that there are things that you have within your control to do when bad things happen. Because our kids are powerful, and our Builders Club, oh my goodness. I'm so glad, Julie, that you were able to be here. And then I'm going to give it back to you, Aaron, because I could talk about this for hours, and John does not want me on here for that long.
Well, he probably wouldn't mind as long as we pay for the airtime. Anyway, all right. So we are up against it. So we're going to have to kind of zip through bad dad jokes. With that, Julie, hit us with another bad dad joke. If you got us, we'll get us started.
Okay. Will glass coffins be a success? Remains to be seen. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep in tow with the running theme, the marathon and your Cloverdale thing there. In 2017, I did not do a marathon. You know what? I didn't do one in 2018, 2019, or guess what? In 2020 either. You know why? It's a running joke. That's why. Anyway. Yep, I did it.
Nicely
That's right.
did. Nicely
Oh, by the
did.
way, I didn't share this with you, Val. When I came back from Vegas last month, there was a setting that I forgot to change. So Siri here on my phone said to me, "Don't call me Shirley." You know why? Because I accidentally left my phone on airplane mode. Okay, there you have it. I did go there. Hey, what's Forrest Gump's computer password? 1, Forrest 1. Okay, that's another quick one. I like that one. Hey, why'd the alternate universe Spider-Man do so well on his driving test? He's an excellent parallel parker. Okay. Julie, you got another one for us?
Oh, I don't know. Oh,
that's okay. You can't do any
no,
worse.
I do. Someone stole all my light bulbs. Now I'm just delighted.
Oh my! Hey, here's a question for you. What has 5 toes and isn't your foot? My foot. That's what it is. All right, there you have it. I did that one long ago. Hey, how do you make a waterbed bouncier? Add some spring water. There you have that one.
Andy is liking your jokes today.
I know. I see. Well, that tells you how much drugs he must be on. So, hey, I asked my local IT guy, how do you make a motherboard? He said, I tell her about my job. I like that one personally. What do you call it when James Bond takes a bath? 007. That's right. I did that one too. Why is it a bad idea to eat a clock? It's too time consuming. That's why. Here's one that I really appreciate, having been visiting the dentist quite a lot. Why should you never brush your teeth with your left hand? Because the toothbrush works easier. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, you go there.
You
yes,
need one more. You need one more good one, and then we need to stop that.
Hey, John.
I have one.
Go ahead, end it.
I'm looking for someone to brush their teeth with me in the morning, because dentists say that brushing alone will not prevent tooth decay.
That's right. All right, there you have it. This week's version of Bad Dad Jokes. I had to make up for last week since I was not on the show last week, although my golf game is a joke all unto itself. All right, as a reminder, join us next week, because hopefully we'll be back with better Bad Dad Jokes. But is there such a thing as better Bad Dad Jokes? I don't think so. If you want to order your Kiwanis Connects jersey, email me, KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you. Julie, thank you for joining us, my friend. Builders Club.
Thank you for having me.
Blood and Air, and Purple People Eater. She would have made a good Viking, Minnesota Viking, Purple People Eater. All right, Doc Val.
Minnesota for a year, yeah.
That's right. There you go. Doc Val, final thoughts.
When the world seems like it's dark, put some light in it and use your laughter and your humor to make a difference. It's not, wow, that happened. It's, wow, how can I make a difference? So thank you.
There you go. Steve
Absolutely.
Nagel, I have one word for you. All right. Have a great week. Be kind to everybody. Why? We are all we have. We'll see you next time right here in Kiwanis Connects. This show is adjourned.